3, 2, 1. Dunk. Now this is a story all about how my life got twisted upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, and tell you all about how
you were doing so well.
I know, dude. I was like,
you were doing so well.
I was, and you know what? That is such a shame because
you call yourself a fan.
I know. Well,
now you're just a fa.
I'm just a fa. I'm a fa. Sorry, guys, I butchered that a little bit. Welcome back to another episode of Good Times with the Boys. Boy numero uno, boy numero dos, boy numero tres. We are here today on the 27th day of July, episode 24. Again, welcome back and thank you again for listening to us. Today's going to be an episode which is nostalgic, the correct word?
Yeah, it could be nostalgic. We might get heated.
Oh.
Right. We don't know. Who knows what's going to go on? We may not be friends at the end of this.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Listen, there's certain things in life that I hold near and dear to my heart. As previously stated, one of those things is the way you should eat cereal. And this next topic, when we're discussing our favorite childhood TV shows, should any of the boys disagree with my selections, I am publicly stating that I will disown them as a friend.
No, we're not saying that.
I'm that confident.
Right. I mean, we're not going to say anything bad about it. Maybe we might have opinions, but...
Okay, leave.
Bye.
Like, we're going to have opinions on them. And if your choices are the wrong choices, then yeah.
Look, wrong is subjective. You might think it's wrong, but I know it's right.
And that's all that really matters.
Exactly.
If you truly believe in yourself and you believe in your craft, fuck everybody else. You know, you're staying in your own lane, you're doing your own thing, and I respect that.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. So on today's episode, we want to talk about a very important topic: childhood TV shows, cartoons, what have you. So we grew up, fortunately, in an era where TV shows were booming, cartoons were booming. Everything was going well for us, and it's every now and again, whenever I'm reminded by certain things that I see, I say, "Damn, I really miss those times. I really miss those Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, or even coming home from school, waiting to turn on the TV and seeing all my favorite shows."
Yeah, I think we were at the tail end of the era of programs, scheduled programming.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Where we centered our life around these TV shows. Now everything's on demand. Everything is streaming.
Everything's on Netflix where you could just binge watch an entire season.
Exactly. The technology has accelerated to the point where you're kind of consuming at your leisure. But from us, this was late 90s, early 2000s, was sort of the tail end. But also, I think the perfect intersection of the programming and the advertising of programming, where the different networks knew these are the dates and times where we're going to get these kids to watch these shows.
Yeah.
And it was, for me, from what I can remember, an exciting time. It was very rare that you caught me sleeping in on Saturday. If anything, I slept in on Sundays because of the Saturday morning cartoons. And growing up, my parents had given me a rule. I was only allotted 30 minutes of TV every day. And
Wow.
1 hour on weekends. So I had to really pick and choose my programming carefully. And I had to manipulate the system. So if my parents liked the TV show, then I can just so happen to be in the same room as them. And then when it's my own time, then I get, you know what I'm saying? Like I can kind of double dip without double dipping.
Yeah.
So I was able to do that. But
were you guys, were your parents the kind where if you're watching a movie or a TV show and it's more adult oriented, I guess, if you will, And then there are scenes in movies or TV shows where there's like kissing and maybe people making love. Did your parents always ever say like try to close your eyes or hey don't look at the TV screen? There's adult things going on.
Yeah, my dad was always like, "Hey, what are you looking at?" I'm like, "Nothing."
Dude, it was way severe than that. I couldn't watch The Simpsons at my house until I was 16.
Yeah,
Why?
I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons either.
Yeah, I couldn't watch The Simpsons. I couldn't watch
Wow.
Beavis and Butthead. I couldn't watch those types of shows that were a little bit more of the crude humor. I definitely couldn't watch those at all. It was just strict. No, there's only one TV in the house. It's in the living room, in the corner where my parents can keep an eye on what I'm watching, what I'm doing at all times. Couldn't watch it at all.
Yeah, that's weird because I had a living back in my old house in Carson. We had a communal TV in the living room, and as bootleg and as Filipino as we are, what we used to do is we used to split the
cable box.
cable boxes, right? And so there would be times where my TV was connected to the TV box in my dad's laboratory where he works quite often, doing his dentures for people and all that stuff. So it was kind of weird. If I wanted to watch something, I had to make sure that either one, my dad wasn't working. If I wanted to watch something that was I'm not supposed to be watching, or
risque.
Yeah, or risque. You know those TV programming that comes on at around 10:30 p.m. and
like Girls Gone Wild infomercial.
Yeah, and I watched a lot of those. And it's either that or golf was always on also, so that wasn't too much of a problem. But yeah, it would be kind of weird if all of a sudden just turned to Girls Gone Wild. My dad's working in the laboratory, and we're kind of just that happened one time, and we didn't say anything, and it just played all throughout 3 hours of Girls Gone Wild. I remember waking up the next morning, I was like, "Sup, Dad?" And he was like, I'm like, "All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, maybe I can get away with this."
We didn't even have cable at the house. I was stuck to your default stations that you get with an antenna, so I didn't even get cable.
Yeah, I was in the same boat as you.
Yeah, I the thing that really pissed me off the most was after I left home for college, I came home one weekend and I saw that they bought a new TV and they got fast internet and that they got cable box installed with like premium channels. And I looked around and I was like, "So you guys had the money the whole time?" And they said, "Yep." I was like, "Okay, so why didn't we get it? You were in the house." I was like, "Well, I see where we stand as children now."
Yeah, as a son to mom and dad.
Dude, my dad texted me today. And his last text to me was because we were like trying to plan to do dinner.
Yeah.
He said, "Think about it, whatever you want. You are the first choice out of siblings." Thanks, Dad.
Kangsan is an only child.
It's like when I told my sister, "Man, you are my favorite sister," you know?
I know. I think that's every sibling's favorite joke.
That's my dad's favorite joke. My mom's favorite joke is that I was adopted.
Oh.
Do you ever look at yourself in the mirror and like, you are my favorite sibling?
No, I look at myself and I'm like, you've been through some shit.
Yeah. I just want to let everybody know Kangsan's parents love Kangsan very much.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But that's how I got my sense of humor. That's how you get thick skin when you have parents that sort of...
Through pain and anguish.
They're not afraid to make fun of you, call you out. So
they roasted you first, so
they
roast you.
pre-bully me. No problem at all, man. I still love my parents to death.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Kim. So yeah, so we have a.
Excuse me, we're podcasting.
We are live, boy 3.
Manners, please.
Everything's on silent. I don't understand how it did that.
That's what they all say.
But see, that's the thing. This podcast is very organic, and we were all, well, actually we still are organic, but during our formidable years, like we alluded to earlier, we delved into several of these TV shows as growing up. So I don't know how we want to do this. I have a shit ton. I have a list of all these shows. I guess we can go with, say, we'll just rattle them off a little bit. We'll because the ones that I put down first were probably more that resonated more in my head, even till this day. And sometimes I can still make references to them. And then we'll just start rattling off some TV shows.
Okay. The number one show that comes to my mind that has shaped a lot of my life is Home Improvement.
Wow.
I watched that show religiously. It was one of the shows that helped me and my dad kind of bond together. We would watch the shows together. My dad's a handyman. He's very good with his hands, with tools and building things, fixing things. He has a bunch of odd jobs that growing up that's kind of related to home improvement, for lack of a better term. So, the family dynamic, Tim Allen and the three boys and Al Borland and the guy that plays Wilson Wilson, and there's Pam Anderson and all these other actors and actresses involved. It was my first vision of what I thought a man should be. It was my first definition of like masculinity was you got to be good with tools. You got to know how to fix stuff. You got to be able to be funny. You got to be able to like sports, and you have to be able to make fun of your friends. That was sort of the basis of Tim, the Toolman Taylor, right? He makes fun of people, but he's genuine. He's a nice guy who's not afraid to tell people like it is, have fun, teaches boys about fixing things, and he roots for the Lions. So growing up, that was my number one show, both in terms of the amount that I watched and also how I was able to connect with my dad. I was able to sneak in more TV time because,
smart.
It was my dad would also kind of get lost in the show too, because he would also think it was funny. And so it's like, I'm only get 30 minutes, but I can sneak in like 2 episodes, right? It was a way to kind of have a backdoor to the process. So for sure, Home Improvement was probably the most impactful. There's a lot of other ones, but yeah.
Did they ever try to what do you call that when they try to bring the show back, like a rerun? Not a rerun. When they try to bring it back, like what they're trying to do with The Office and all that. I wonder, did they ever do that with
I don't know. I know they were getting, I think,
because they were killing
I
it.
forgot the actress's name that played the wife, but her, Tim, they were making at least $250,000 an episode. It got so popular that they can command $250,000 an episode.
Well, Tim Allen has another TV show right now called Last Man Standing.
Yeah, I think it's a similar basis. I think Tim is sort of that guy in real life. It just so happens.
Yeah, the basis of that show is he's a outdoorsman, and he's like the president or like vice president of the company, and he has a wife and 3 daughters. Basically, Home Improvement, but with daughters.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And
I actually really like that show too. You should watch it.
Home Improvement's been, it kind of helped or sparked my appreciation for cars. I'm not really a car guy. I don't know much about cars per se, but I can appreciate the work and dedication that it takes to just design a car. So when I see one, I'm just like, damn, that represents blood, sweat, and tears from somebody.
I wish I got into it a little more. I mean, I think later on in my life is when I started watching more Home Improvement, but it wasn't like the shows I was actually actively trying to watch and like waiting for, as you spoke to, like waiting at certain times during the day or during the week. But as far as influential TV shows, and one of my probably my top most influential to me at least, and it's a big part of how I conduct myself, and I'm sure you guys will agree, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the greatest TV shows to ever grace this world, and I'm so blessed to have watched it. For those of you who are listening, we have an array of beautiful artwork here at Kangsan's house, and one of those beautiful pieces that Kangsan just received not too long ago is this mural. This was painted in Philly, right?
In Philly, yeah.
Of Will Smith sitting down on a chair with Jordans on and his Fresh Prince of Bel-Air attire, and it's and I run my life not only a quarter mile at a time, but also how the certain things that I say and how I say them, some of my jokes, and even tonally speaking of how I talk, I get a lot of it from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
So you're like jazz.
Um, yeah, I'm like, actually, you know what? I think I'm a mix of, to be honest, I think I'm a mix of Carlton and Will, where Will is, Will is the guy coming, not really from the hood, but more of a, not as
prestigious or
upbringing,
yeah.
right? And then you have Carlton, who's a total opposite of that, where, yeah, I have a 9 to 5 job where I work in an office. Sometimes I wear a suit and a tie, but as soon as I get home and I'm on this podcast talking to everybody else, I talk like a thug. You know what I mean? So, that's my number one.
I definitely agree. The only reason I left it off my list is it wasn't part of my childhood. I got into it a little bit later down the road. It's had a tremendous impact on my life as well. It's just sort of more so outside in terms of how Will Smith got the part, and what it started was what the biggest motivating factor was for me. Just the idea that this guy never acted before, and he was so hell-bent on getting something that he's never done before and convincing a room full of people, I can do this. And he just did it. He willed his way, no pun intended.
Love it.
He willed his way to a starring role on a TV show that became, I guess the word is syndicated, but that sparked the idea, and the motivation for me is like anything is possible. You just got to be able to work your ass off. So yeah, I would definitely put Fresh Prince as an influential TV show. I think it applies to everybody, even those that are listening, for sure. Everybody is aware of it. At the very least, everyone knows what it is.
Yeah, Andrew, and your top show?
So my top
Shows.
show would be Boy Meets World. So that's something I grew up with and along with throughout my entire childhood.
Topanga.
I was going to say Boy Meets World is Topanga, right? I never really watched Boy Meets World, but yeah.
Yeah, she was probably my first crush.
Oh, okay. What was your guys' first crush?
Kim, really.
What?
Kim.
Possible?
No. Pink Power Ranger.
Yeah, Pink Power Ranger.
Oh,
yeah, she was there too.
Like, it's funny. It came up on my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
Just like these, where are they now, or what have you? And I saw her older photos from back in the day, and I was like, her and Kelly Kapowski, right, from Saved by the Bell, like those. You're on the show for a reason, but I think at the time you were way ahead of your time right there. As far as looks go, you guys were you gals were very pretty, and Topanga as well.
Yeah, but Boy Meets World was every episode had a life lesson for you, and I think that's what a lot of shows nowadays are missing. Like watching kid shows now. Like I started watching Girl Meets World not too long ago, probably like 2 years ago now. And they try to impart that type of message, but at the same time, it wasn't the same as Boy Meets World.
Yeah, and because I do recall that was on the air for quite some time.
It was
right?
on the air for from when he was 11 to 23.
Oh my God.
It's been on for a long time, yeah.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting how young they started. I always saw that on the on the flippers once it got the.
You guys used to watch the TV or get the TV guide. I used to flip through the TV guide on Sundays to find out when the channels were or when the shows were coming on, and it would give you the breakdown, sort of how it does on your cable box when you press the info. It gives you a breakdown of what episode is about to play.
Yeah.
So I flipped through the TV guide through the different days that I knew the shows were going to be on, and that's actually how I learned Eastern time zone, because the TV guide was on Eastern time. So I can calculate, and that's how I learned about time zones, was a TV guide, and just okay, it's 9, so it's 6 here, blah blah blah, and it would give you a little snippet of what to look forward to. And now it's kind of like, what is it about? Oh, okay, whatever. But back in the day when it was sort of there's an excitement built up to it, that was like a written version of a trailer, so you can read.
Okay. Yeah.
Corey gets in trouble again while Topanga tries to settle a feud with her friend, and you're like, oh shit, like she's about to go down, you know.
They had all that on the
TV guide.
Yeah,
like
for
the
sure.
printed one.
I know we had those regularly. I rarely recall flipping through them. Maybe every once in a while, but I would just look at it. Cause I guess I got to a point where maybe I'm not jogging my memory as well as I should, but to the point where it's like when TV shows are going to come on, and you kind of just watch them. And I guess I wasn't so up on is this a newer episode or older episode. It's just if it just said Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or if it said South Park or whatever, it's like okay, I'm watching it. Regardless, I'm watching it. But it was a little unfortunate for me because I didn't come on. I started off with like the Disney channels, the Cartoon Networks.
Must be nice.
I know.
Well,
I was stuck with ABC, NBC. Back in the day, it was UPN, Channel 13, right? It was Fox,
yeah,
CBS.
Well, see, and that's probably
Telemundo.
why. We more or less know each other's lists. That's why your list is the way it is because of God gave you lemons and you made the best lemonade that you could have made.
I mean, if you want to
Right?
call this list lemonade, sure.
It's like a limonade or
Look, my parents were the stereotypical Korean parents. It was piano, taekwondo. It was after school work. It was as much education as possible. And my workaround was I needed to find fun TV shows that were quote unquote educational so I could convince my parents that those were worthy of my time. She didn't want me just to sit around and just get brain dead. So part of the list, like Home Improvement, was different because my dad got sucked into it. And it wasn't educational per se, but it did talk a little bit about fixing stuff, cars, a little bit about it, right?
yeah.
General home stuff. And so when those things came up, my dad would be like, yeah, that's actually, you could do it this way, that way, blah, blah, blah.
Well, and it at least looks like a real show.
Yeah, or like I'll be like, what's an Allen wrench? What's a socket wrench? They have those things, right? He's like, give me the whatever tool. What's a level? So it was sort of educational in that sense. But some of the other shows that I really was into was like Magic School Bus.
Oh, I love Magic School Bus.
Because there was always something scientific about it.
Girl, that's booty hole. You never seen that meme?
Oh, I was like, that was
like,
definitely
I don't
not
think
an
that was in there.
episode. Yeah. Oh,
shit, dude.
I'm going to put that in the front of this episode.
Intro.
We're going to go back onto the TV shows.
Yeah. What was the teacher's name?
Miss Frizzle.
Miss Frizzle.
Frizzle. Nice.
So Magic School Bus.
What was the lizard's name? Lizzie?
No, I don't know. I remember. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Classic, dude.
Used to watch that.
Legend.
And then I used to watch a lot of Judge Judy. And the only reason that I watched, that I was allowed to watch Judge Judy per se, was because my mom's name is Judy. And we used to always joke that she's more strict than a judge. And so she got a kick out of it. So that was kind of like, I got to watch it in that sense. And so
I wonder if she's still alive.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
She's not that old.
She was the first.
She was pretty old, dude.
Yeah, she was like at the height of its career, I guess, if you will. She looked at least 50. And that was almost 20 years ago.
How old is she?
I'm looking that up right now.
Okay, numbers.
I'll say 69.
82.
Oh, I was going to say 73. And
75.
God damn, she's 75 years. Yeah, see, so when she was doing it, she's probably like 50, 55.
Yeah.
But she was the first, at least from, I mean, not saying that my mom isn't a strong matriarchal figure, but she was the first one where I was like, holy shit, women can talk like that? God damn.
I've never watched a full episode of Judge Judy.
Judge Judy was the first other person that can look and be like, oh, but she's just like my mom.
And her name is Judy.
I was like, I get it now. And then my next question was, are all Judys like this?
Dude. Next time you meet a woman named Judy, you're like, oh shit, no, don't hit me,
So that was the reason why I got to watch Judge Judy for sure.
an eclectic list for the very few that you've mentioned
Yeah,
so
yeah.
far.
I was like, Home Improvement, cool. Magic School Bus, oh, cartoon,
right.
Bill Nye. Oh, okay, some science stuff on PBS. Judge Judy.
Yeah, I didn't watch Judge Judy until later, but it was one of those shows where you remember coming home from let's just say middle school, right? Either you walked home or you took the bus home. I walked home. My middle school was pretty close to my house at the time, and when you get home, you don't get home like the way we usually do now, later at night or after 5 o'clock. You would get home at like sometimes 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
What's wrong with you?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
You get home at 2?
Well, on Thursdays on every Thursday we got out at 2 o'clock at Stephen White.
Damn.
Every day I got out at like 2:45 or 3:05.
Yeah, and then I think Stephen White the longest was 3:33 or 3:03 or something like that p.m.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
Apparently to a penitentiary.
Holy shit, man!
And then on Fridays we got out at 12:30.
Oh, that happened every once in a while.
I don't know what to say.
And then like every other Wednesday we got out at 1:30. We're just shitting our guns out right now.
My it was 9 to 3 or 3:30 every day, and I would have to walk home. And what's like the first thing you do when you guys get home?
Ask my grandma to make me some food.
And then what else? What are some?
Then I would turn on the TV and watch some Digimon.
What would you do?
Things that I'm willing to say.
What are things that I'm willing to say?
I would eat as soon as I get home and then turn the TV straight on.
Yep.
And I'll leave it at that.
My meals were usually like rice with spam and eggs, like every day after school.
All right. So the food part is similar. I would always have pizza bagels. Remember those?
Yeah.
Always pizza bagels with the pepperoni sausage. That was the best after school snack of all time.
Bagel bites.
Yeah.
So I would come home. It would be around 3:30 or 4. Have some bagel bites. Then I would have to do homework. After I do homework, my mom would buy these books from Teacher Supply. That was a year ahead. So every day I had a subject. It was like math, English, social studies, history, and science. And it was the next grade. Like she was trying to prep me for the next grade. So I did my homework. Then I had to do the homework my mom gave me. And then I had to get it right. So if I got it wrong, I would have to redo it. And it was a page, front and back, that I would have to complete.
Oh.
And I would have to keep going until I got, I think, like 90% of it right. Then by that time, my dad comes home, it's dinner, and then I watch TV. But then it's like after they do everything, then I get to watch TV. So like, it's like, what the fuck do I watch at like 9 o'clock? Then my bedtime, I was forced to go to bed at 9:30 so I can wake up at 6 the next day. I want to go back to your guys' childhood.
I'm listening to that and I'm just like,
You went to a prison for middle school, and then you went to like house arrest when you went home.
Yeah, it was. When I tell you Judge Judy was nice, I mean it.
shit.
That opened up so much.
Yeah.
That I did not know.
That makes more sense. Well, okay, look, not everything was sunshine and butterflies for me. I guess so. When I would walk home, obviously I would be home by myself, and my parents would be working. My mom at the time worked like 6-7 days, 12-hour shifts every day. So she was back maybe if she started at 6 a.m., she'd be back at 6 p.m. And say if I get home at 3:30 or 3:45, my dad would not be home until. Speaking of which, my mom is calling me right now. But my dad wouldn't be home until like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I had that window, right? I had that window when I get home at 3:45, 4 o'clock maybe. I'll eat, I'll watch TV. So I did the reverse of you, right? I would watch TV, and as soon as they got home, I'd turn off the fucking TV, over my fucking book, and I'm like, hi, Mom, just doing homework, And she's like,
Like, what's taking you so long?
yeah, it's like, if you got home at 4, and then they figured it out. It's like, if you got home at 4, are you watching TV? And I was like, yeah. But then, which I'm sure you guys are very familiar with, Andrew probably a little more. Then Kumon was introduced into my life. And for those of you who don't know what Kumon is this very mom and pop shop. Actually, they're probably bigger. They're a lot bigger now. This math and English institution where children, such as myself at the time, would go there to hone in on their math and English skills. And my parents were like, fuck the English shit. You know what I mean? He speaks perfectly fine, but, you know, this motherfucker's Asian. Let's get your math scores up. You know what I mean? So I did that right after school in the majority of my middle school years. And so once I finished that, then I would be home at like 5 or 6 o'clock now. Then my mom would be home. Then I can't watch any TV. And then I, you know, did the Kangsan schedule where I had to watch it later on at night. So I hope that made you feel a little bit better.
No, it
no.
didn't. Listen,
Sorry, man. I tried.
My parents were very strict in the very beginning, and they loosened up as I got older. So by the time it was middle school, it was a lot more lax. And then high school, they let me do whatever. So it's just only my childhood that was in prison. Everything else has been fine.
Free like a bird.
My mom would have a saying of like, gotta get them before they're 5. And she actually was, a lot of her friends would go to my mom and be like, your son behaves so well. Like, how do you do that? And my mom just one word answer, fear.
Oh my God.
And like, I'm just like, yep, she got me. Like,
Yep, I get my ass beat. Yep,
I am afraid of her. And then my dad was just like the quiet and dangerous type where he's like, my dad never laid a finger on me.
Yeah.
But he also, when he gets mad, says like 2 words, and I've seen him bend things that shouldn't have been bent. And I'm just in my mind, I'm like, oh wow, that could have been my body.
You know what? That's a good way of. I forgot who was saying that. I don't know if it was Bert Kreischer or one of the comedians. They were saying, you know, don't hit your children. Just show your if you're trying to discipline them.
Oh,
yeah. Just show your children the potential of what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if they're acting up, you know, you go through. His analogy was he went up to a door, punched a hole in the door, knowing that he was going to replace the door the next day anyway. And his kids looked at him and they're like, "Holy shit, this guy's fucking crazy. Let's not fuck around."
Yeah.
And look at you. You know, you turned out great. So good job, Han Kim.
Yeah. And to my mom, you know,
Shout out to Judy too.
had to stay home because I had really bad asthma as a kid. So there were a lot of what started out as hospital visits began into a lot of just like panic attacks in terms of like, I'm talking about my mom, like when I have asthma, like you can't breathe, this, then the third, it's like, do I take him to the hospital? Do I not? We don't have the money. So,
Jesus,
you know, she went through a lot, and I can, looking back in how I was behaving as a child, I as if I was in her shoes, I would do something similar for sure.
Wow. Oh, well, that was, you know, not sad, but
I don't even want to talk about my childhood because I had a pretty laid back childhood compared to yours.
Well, look, everybody's different.
yeah.
If I had your childhood and it was laid back, I would have been a brat now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think I needed that as a kid, and I needed it to start off really strict and then loosen as I go, because my personality type as a child, I was very, I'm an only child, you know, it was very easy to demand what I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's nobody else. I don't have to share. The concept of sharing wasn't there. As an only child, you get afforded a lot of these luxuries that you don't have as siblings.
Yeah.
And so my parents were very hell-bent on making sure I don't end up that way. And I think that's why they started off very strict. Both of my parents come from a family of 3 at least. And so they understand what it's like to have siblings and what it taught them versus an only child who, you know, you have a much different concept of personal space, belonging, sharing, friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
yeah.
I've always had my own room. You know, there's a lot of things that I've been fortunate enough as an only child to experience. So I think to offset that, they, you know, were always giving me some humble pie.
Yeah.
Every day, even now, apparently.
Well,
growing up with siblings.
Yeah.
My sister once pushed me off the top bunk.
This is
of
my
our
favorite
bunk
story.
bed
There we go.
while
What?
my arm was wrapped around a blanket, and so I ended up injuring my arm and then breaking my nose on one of the steps of the bunk bed.
He broke my nose.
You broke the Hey, just for the listeners, Andrew, how many times have you broken your nose?
4 or 5.
That's 4 or 5 more times than you should have broken your nose, dude.
I broke my nose once.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. You just pop it right back in, hold the bleeding, good to go.
Yep.
God.
Yeah, I broke once during a football game, broke once during a basketball game.
It doesn't hurt as bad, I think, because it's just cartilage.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a bone. So like when I broke it, it didn't feel broken, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so I was playing basketball and I got tripped from behind and my face landed on someone's knee, and you just hear like a pop when you're popping those air bubbles.
Yeah.
You just hear it pop, and it just kind of gets really warm, and then just blood flows like a faucet, and you're just like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And somebody looks at it and you go, your nose is crooked. That's how you know it's broken.
Yeah.
And you let the bleeding stop, and then they say, okay, look, we can fix it now, or it'll just stay that way. And I'm like, no.
Like Owen Wilson.
Yeah, like this is the moneymaker, right?
I need this.
So fix it, and you just kind of get your thumb and feel where it is, and go 1, 2, crack, and you just hear like you're cracking knuckles.
Yeah.
It just hears like that, and it goes right back in, and then the cartilage buildup is what helped block the blood.
Yeah.
So when you straighten it, you're breaking it up, so blood comes back pouring out. So it's just another bloody nose. And after a while, like it gets hard to like kind of scrunch your face, or it hurts a little. But after that, I'm good to go.
Steve Nash did that in the middle of a game, didn't he?
I think so.
He broke his nose and he got fouled, I guess, and he was walking back to the bench to be like, "No, I'm good." And as he's walking right, just fidgets it and boop, pops it back in. I'm like, dude, that's badass, dude.
Yeah, I think the term broken nose makes it sound really severe, but I think it probably hurts more to like dislocate a shoulder or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Most of my nose injuries have been straight on.
Oof.
Like right on the bridge of my nose.
I think that probably hurts more.
Yeah.
Like falling nose first into a brick. You know the brick landing at my house, right? Right outside the front steps.
When you say nose first, I just imagine like hands back. You're like, die.
Like a torpedo, dude.
No, one of my slippers like broke while I was walking down the stairs to meet my mom at the door. And so I tripped over the top step and landed nose first right into the brick.
Damn.
I mean, Andrew, I like.
What brand of slippers was this, so we can shout them out? Call them out on their
I don't know. It's
malfunction.
just some random like Janellas.
Yeah. I thought you were trying to say like
Chanclas.
rainbows or chanclas. Yeah, you should probably permanently wear a face mask all the time.
Nah, I mean it's been a while since I've broken my nose. Oh. I just imagine getting my nose broken right now.
I'll do a little knock on wood for you right there.
It's like shit. Flashbacks.
Speaking of flashbacks, another TV show that flashes a lot in my mind, and probably maybe the same for you guys as well. Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the
yeah.
Bell.
I
Yeah.
don't think we can continue this podcast without talking about Saved by the Bell. It was iconic, just as Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Home Improvement and apparently Judge Judy and all that.
One of those is not like the rest.
Spot the knot. But yeah, man, I was a big fan of Saved by the Bell, dude.
Yo, Kelly Kapowski could still get it.
Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, she did some recent TV shows. Like,
Yeah.
She was in White Collar.
there we go, White Collar.
You know, I will say, as a heterosexual male who's very confident in my own skin, Mario Lopez is one handsome man. He is just objectively a stunningly good-looking individual.
You know, people want to talk about Keanu Reeves.
Wait,
Wait, what?
Listen to where I'm going with this. You got to listen to where I'm going with this, okay? Keanu Reeves and who?
Oh, you're talking about timeless people, right?
Sandra Bullock, right? Okay, and so and they always say, man, they don't age. Like, look at them, right? How come not a lot of people talk about Mario Lopez, man?
That dude,
This guy is
he has-
still a stud, bro.
He hasn't aged at all.
Yeah.
That dude's ripped,
Yep.
and I don't know. He just looks like he's like 28, like he's stuck in year 28 of his life, like forever.
I don't think it's because he's had a lot of work in between Saved by the Bell and then America's Best Dance Crew.
Well, look, if there's any indicator of why you should take care of your body, he would be a good example why.
Yeah.
You maintain that youth and that energy. Good on you, Mario Lopez.
Yeah, I fell off the wagon like 4 years ago, so I got to get back on the road somewhere.
Yeah, Look, once you've
Find my Mario Lopez inside.
once you've been on the bike, it's easy to get back on.
I like that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Andrew, what else you got?
Well, I was big on the cartoons like X-Men, Batman.
Is that it?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, nice.
And so I was watching a lot of those and Digimon specifically.
I remember Digimon.
Did you guys like Digimon or Pokemon more?
Pokemon, hands down.
Oh, hands down, has to be Pokemon.
I thought Digimon was enjoyable, but always in the back of my mind, it was a ripoff of Pokemon for sure.
I remember having youthful debates at school about when Digimon first came out, and I'm like, they're just fucking playing off of Pokemon, bro. Like,
Yeah, like
don't be buying their cards.
The first character was a short, stout T-Rex. I'm like, that's Charmander.
Yeah.
That's
it looks so cute, though.
That's clearly a Charmander. And then there was like, what other characters were there? But it was like some dude with like spiky hair. I'm like, that's Ash.
Yeah.
I think I liked it because the Digimon could actually talk. And
that was the biggest thing. Yeah, you're right.
Versus Pokemon where they're just like, oh, Pikachu.
Pokemon and Brock was the first time where I was like, I think that's a little racist right there.
Brock?
Yeah.
Brock.
Why?
Because his eyes were slanted.
Is Brock an Asian name?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I guess.
Racist because they gave him slanted eyes.
Yeah, like everybody else has these giant anime or animated eyes. Brock was the one with the slanted eyes.
And why you got to be brown?
That was the first time I think I was like, I don't feel comfortable with this.
I don't know why, but this looks weird.
Yeah, I'm like, why would you do that? Like, it always looked like the sun was in his face.
Yeah.
I wonder what like he would look like in real life.
Oh.
Like a realistic portrayal of all these characters.
Like a dude that has a sun in his face all the time.
Yeah. A dark dude, spiky hair with sun in his eyes. First TV show, a small side piece. First TV show in your youth that you ever remember watching, like
at all,
or like in this realm of these types of TV shows, like these kids TV shows. Because we were talking about it. For me, it was Pokemon.
Power Rangers.
Oh, okay. Well, because it was Pokemon. It was Pokemon for me.
It was Power Rangers for me. I remember 1995. The OG Power Rangers was out, and this was back in the day where you can believe things in like you read magazines and you see the article and there's ads in newspapers and shit.
Yeah.
Kids listening, there's this thing called newspapers, right? There's these papers that aren't quite like the paper you're used to, and if you hold on to it for too long, you get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
And if you rub on it for long enough, you can rub the ink off. But there used to be this ad for the Power Rangers fan club. For the whopping cost of $5, you send in a photo of yourself and you pick your favorite Power Ranger, and they send back a Polaroid of your face on that favorite Power Ranger's body.
That's where that fucking photo came from.
And so
that's where that photo came from.
I was an official member of the Power Rangers fan club. It came with this like typed up letter that was clearly in Microsoft Word, and it just said
Times New Roman.
Yeah, or it could have even been off of a typewriter, but it was just, welcome to the Power Rangers fan club. Here's blah blah blah. Here's as a member. Like they try to sell it to kids. It's like now you're out there fighting evil, and be sure to look out for your Power Rangers. Blah blah blah.
If you guys could see this photo that Andrew and I are talking about, it's Kangsan when how old are you?
I was 5.
5 years old.
Yeah.
It was the Green Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the full grown ass body of a man and this cute little Korean face just sticking out of a Green Ranger, and I'm like, this guy's gonna fucking save the world one day.
That was me.
You had the Billy effect.
Yeah.
The Blue Ranger from the 3rd season of Power Rangers, where it was a little kid.
Oh yeah,
and then he would morph into a grown ass person.
Yes, yeah. Actually, I retract my statement. It was a Power Rangers.
Yeah,
Sorry.
That's the thing I remember first.
Okay.
I was really into. I was definitely really into Power Rangers, obviously, as a kid. That was back when $5 was a lot.
Dude, I was gonna say, I was like, when you said $5 and it started feeling a little nostalgic to think back then. I was like, $5 was a lot of money, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like at school for lunch, you know, or just even middle school, I used to buy this pretty good sized burrito and this giant cookie for like $1.50. And, you know,
Okay, so
bomb.
for all the strict stuff and then the funny stories about my mom, one of the very cool things that she would do every Friday, because she was sort of a stay-at-home mom because of my health. I guess this didn't really contribute to my health, but every Friday she always wanted to check in on me, and lunchtime, without fail, drop off my lunch during lunchtime, a number 4, which back in the day at Jack in the Box was a crispy chicken sandwich, curly fries,
Oh, of course.
and a Dr. Pepper. Every Friday, she'd drop it off. She'd get herself number 1 with curly fries and a Coke. That was her thing, a Jumbo Jack. And we would eat lunch together sometimes. And that's how she kind of got involved with like PTA and like found out who my friends are and things like that. So, you know, she bribed me with food to like infiltrate my world. But, you know, that was a really cool thing she did. I got really fat by the time I was like in 5th grade.
Yeah.
You know, I was gaining a lot of weight, but I mean, whatever, you're a kid. You don't care about that kind of stuff until later. I mean, eventually, unfortunately, it didn't stop until I was like 16. But in the meantime, I really enjoyed that. And so, you know, I know it sounds like my mom's like this really tough, hard ass, and she could be, but at the same time, she really liked to feed me food. So there's that.
Thanks, Judy.
Judge Judy is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, she's fair. Like, here's a crispy chicken sandwich. Now tell me everything about your life.
Yeah, exactly. I used to eat the bucket of fries from McDonald's.
The bucket of fries.
The bucket.
So McDonald's,
They never had a bucket, did they?
yeah, they did. They did.
I tell you what, though. I can demolish a 20-piece and a 50-piece like nobody's ever seen in their life.
I could believe that.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets?
Yeah.
Oh.
Easy. 50 pieces, nothing.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I've done 100-piece before.
Yeah,
so.
right? It's not even chicken. It's like paste.
God, that's disgusting.
Have you seen the chicken nugget, like how it gets made? It's like
Yeah.
this pink thing that you like deep fry it. I'm not going to lie. I know it's disgusting. I know it's inherently bad for you. And there's literally zero benefit to eating a chicken nugget.
Oh, there's one big benefit.
It tastes
it's
fucking good.
so
It tastes
bomb.
fucking amazing.
But even after seeing that a chicken nugget is this pink paste looking thing that just gets deep fried.
Deep fried and shaped into 4 different shapes.
Yeah. I still want like chicken nuggets. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, like I know it's gross, but I still kind of want to eat it.
Well, when was the last time you went to McDonald's? Because I know you haven't been to McDonald's
Like
in a
for
while.
food?
Yeah.
Last time I went to McDonald's and ate food was like,
Wow.
2000. I was still in college.
Holy
Shit.
shit.
2010, 2009. I've been to McDonald's before to get coffees and stuff like that. You know, when you're on the road.
Yeah.
Oh, those. No, wait.
Oh, when we went to Vegas.
We went to Vegas.
Okay.
When we went to Vegas.
Oh, you're
sparingly.
right. And
That was-
and then you were like, dude, I haven't had
Yeah.
McDonald's in like 4 years.
that was the last time I had McDonald's.
I would be proud to say that was the last time I had McDonald's too.
Yeah, that was the last time McDonald's.
So next TV show. I had McDonald's yesterday, guys. Okay. I had it
did you really?
yesterday. Yeah, I had it yesterday.
What'd you eat?
Oh, sorry. This Saturday. This past Saturday.
What'd you eat?
I had my favorite, a McGriddle.
Yo, okay.
McGriddle and a hash
McDonald's
brown.
breakfast.
It's so bomb.
Best breakfast
Crack.
fast food of all time.
Yep.
Their deluxe big breakfast is something you should get at least once in your life if you haven't. The key is you get the biscuits, then you put the egg, the bacon, and the sausage, and you make a sandwich, and you get the pancakes as extra, right? Mm-hmm. But the hands down best, it's not the McGriddle, it's the egg and sausage McMuffin.
Yep. And I like to dip it in the syrup.
It's the McMuffin breading of it is it's to me it's a little chewy, you know. It's like oatmeal-y.
It's crispy on the outside. The sausage makes it super salty. Sometimes every once in a while you're gonna see a 2 for $3 deal.
Yep.
Add in those really greasy, crispy hash browns and orange juice, and you're taking me back to my fat ass childhood.
Yeah, my fat ass in college was going to McDonald's. Like, driving to college, we could go to that McDonald's off of Bellflower.
Bellflower, yeah.
I would get 2 orders of the 2 for $3 sausage McMuffins and then 2 hash browns.
Oh,
And that was every day.
I ate McDonald's a lot. I ate McDonald's a lot back in college, but it was weird because I was 30 pounds, 40 pounds lighter. And it would be like my post meal workout kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'd go to McDonald's, same one that Andrew's talking about, Bellflower. 3 double cheeseburgers, 2 McChickens, and a large fries and a tall iced tea.
Oh, that's like a double McGangbang.
Yeah, it's a double McGangbang, double McHeart Attack, double McEverything. But you know what? I was way more fit than I was today. So
I remember those days.
yeah. What I also remember are watching. So it's I think a lot of the shows, except for Magic School Bus, the more animated ones, right? We talked a lot about the actual, I don't know what you call them, like real.
Just TV shows.
Okay, yeah, real TV shows. I do have a number of cartoons or animated shows that I have on my list. Number 1 being South Park. Okay, although I came into it a little bit later, I do recall seeing it because when we actually did finally get the full scope of cable, I think it was like late middle school, I would see the South Park thing. I was like, oh, what the hell is that? And then I finally dove into it super hard in high school. But yeah, I wish I watched a little more South Park back in the day.
I mean, I didn't even know South Park existed until high school.
Yeah,
So
me neither.
it wasn't definitely a part of my childhood. For me, when it comes to animated things, it was Animaniacs. It was the WB on Saturdays.
Yes.
Pinky and the Brain.
Love it.
It was anything that was on that channel from 8 a.m. to about 10 or 11 a.m. Because after that, it was, go outside and play kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that I was. Oh, and then Saturday, like afternoons, was Hercules and Xena,
Oh, yeah.
the warrior princess. I kind of had a crush on her.
Lucy Lawless.
Yeah, for sure.
She was
And
fine, dude.
Kevin Sorbo.
He was fine, dude.
He had nice arms.
He did.
Yeah, he had very, very defined arms. If I had Kevin Sorbo arms, I probably would dress like him.
Yeah.
So those were the TV shows. Just following back to the Power Ranger fan club thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, by the description of the Polaroid, my favorite Ranger was Tommy, the Green Ranger. And when he sort of transformed or transitioned into the White Ranger,
Yeah.
I had all that stuff. I had the sword that would what's the opposite of retract? That would
Extract?
No. It would not expand. It would
do something.
yes.
You have to like flick it.
Yeah.
And then like it was a tiger head at the bottom. You press a button and it plays. I used to have that. I used to have the little flute. You press a button and it plays his little flute music. I used to have the badge. So when the Power Rangers had the series of like the animals, each was an animal. I had that. Like I was big into Power Rangers. Tommy by far was my favorite. And my least favorite was Billy. I thought he was always a dweeb.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like off to the side, like kind of a weirdo. If I had to power rank them, it would be Tommy, Jason, Kimberly, Zach, Trinity, and Billy. That'd be my from top to bottom. Like, what's your guys' rankings?
Wow. Zordon.
Alfalfa.
That dude was dope. Yeah.
Zordon, the legend, bro. The first OG of all OGs. But if it was just the Power Rangers themselves, Tommy, Jason, Kimberly. What was the black one's name?
Zach.
Zach, Trinity, Billy.
Same as me.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll do Tommy, Kimberly, Zach, Jason, Trinity, Billy.
Damn, Jason's pretty low on that.
I thought he was a buster.
What?
Yeah.
He was badass, dude.
No, him and Jason and Kimberly was Jim and Pam before Jim and Pam.
Correct.
It was a whole lot of will she, won't she, sexual tension that ultimately ends up going nowhere.
Yep.
It's a kid's show. But Power Rangers, the movie,
I don't know. I fell asleep.
was
The most recent one or that one?
no when it was that original crew.
Opening day.
That was the first time I got introduced to like classic rock. Remember they're playing Free Ride?
Yes.
You know, and you're just like, oh, what's that song? It's so catchy. And it just kind of gets into classic rock that way. It's really interesting to see, like, looking back, the way you get introduced to something is via, like, what the method is. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad learned English watching Laker games and listening to Chick Hearn.
Oh.
And that's how he learned his English. My mom, she went to Inglewood High, so that's all I need to say about how she learned her English.
Thugga, you know.
You know, so it's pretty interesting. Like, you know, English was my second language, so Home Improvement, it was a lot of like I would grunt a lot. I thought that was like a thing to do. You know, just you know, a lot of grunting. You know, Tim Taylor would always do that. So a lot of grunting, a lot of sarcasm, a lot of like facial expressions, facial expressions and stuff like that. So, Power Ranger for sure. Tommy was my number one.
I could appreciate that.
Yeah.
I grew up my cousins who were my first cousins who I'm closest with. They, I guess they're a little more well off than my immediate family, but whatever they wanted, they got pretty much. You know what I mean? And so they introduced me to Power Rangers, but I do recall that there was a bunch of so for each Power Ranger they had the figurine collectible for each Power Ranger, each you know, the 5 original. They had the Transformer
it's Morphin' Tom.
Yeah, the morphing
the medallion holder
for every single one. Wow. And you remember the cool thing about it, there's it's not gold, right? It's like metal, but there's a gold piece that goes in every single one where you can close it, it fits, right? Had every single one of those.
Lucky bastard.
Had all the pieces to the Megazord, put it for each like generation. And so, yes, I was watching it on TV, but then when I go to their house and I'm like, I'll tell my parents, hey, can we go, you know, over to their house just so I can, you know, we haven't seen them in a long time. You know what I mean? Them as in the Power Rangers, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do that. But yeah, it was, it would have been nice to have all that. But, you know, the movie, and Kangsan talked about the movie. I love the movie, dude. That was Evan Ooze, right?
Yep. Ivan Ooze.
Oh, Ivan Ooze, sorry. Love that movie. So just some of my honorable mentions also as far as the cartoons, animated portion of it. Ed, and Eddie. Power Rangers. Even further back, Gullah Gullah Island.
I never watched that.
I never watched that either.
Zaboomafoo and the Crap Brothers.
Now it just sounds like you're just making noise.
Zaboomafoo is a thing.
I know it is, but
but it's like Bawimbawe.
Yeah, he's like, yo, I used to watch the Gullah Gullah Brothers of and I'm just like,
are you rapping, Doc? Dexter's Laboratory, Pinky and the Brain, Powerpuff Girls. Another TV show that I really liked, Sister, dude.
Oh,
Sister. Yeah,
I love that.
That was a fun show. It was. I remember when Marcus Houston was like that. It was that episode where I think he went away and came back. Now he's just like tall piece of chocolate, or whatever. And the twins are like, "What the fuck happened to him?" Yeah. You know.
Funny story. The sister college version. So Tia's boyfriend, I think I forgot his name. I think his real name is Eddie. So back maybe 9-8 years ago, I was playing golf. I was at the driving range, and I see this dude that looks like Tia's boyfriend in college, right? I forgot his name was Sean or whatever. And I was like, "Hey man," and this is when I was working at that driving range, and I was like, "Hey man, not to be weird or anything, are you," and I had to Google him, "Are you like Eddie something some?" And he looked at me, he was like, "Yeah, why?" You know, I was like, "Oh no, man, you kind of look like this dude, and I think you are. Were you in Sister, man?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's me," you know. And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, all right, what's up?" He was like, "Damn, man, when you walk up to me asking my name, like I thought you was like fucking my girl or something," you know what I'm saying? I was like, "Yo, what the fuck, dude? Nah, man." But then, dude, yeah, we actually like started texting we play golf or we practice every once in a while also, but I haven't talked to him in a long time. But yeah, man, he's a really cool guy.
Oh, good for him. Good for you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
It was fun.
What a trip down memory lane.
What color Power Ranger would you be though?
Like an existing color, or I have to invent a new color?
Dealer's choice.
Yeah.
Ooh. I really like the white Power Ranger outfit. It had the Vegeta shoulder pads.
Yes.
It was gold and black and white. It just was clean, crisp. It is very much an Instagrammable outfit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like the black and gold Ranger.
Black and gold was fire. I like the ones that were when they were like ninjas.
Yes.
Oh,
That was pretty cool.
Yes.
But for sure, Tommy's white Power Ranger outfit. That's my number one.
I like Tommy's because it had the white, black, and gold, but primarily it was white. I want one where it's primarily gold, and the trim is like black and white, so it's like reverse of Tommy. Maybe I'm a bad person.
So do you have you watched? Are you a big wrestler? Like there's this wrestler named Goldust.
I was gonna say Gold Dust or Goldar from Power Rangers, but yeah, I would look like Gold Dust, dude.
You look like Goldust. You weirdo.
Hey man, he's dead, right?
Goldust? I think so.
Oh.
But he used to always do this thing where he like had gold dust in his hand. He'd just like blow it out. It would really creep me out as a kid. I'm just like, oh man, what was it? We have to have a podcast about the wrestling thing. It's just wrestling was such a big part. But
Yeah, I'll produce that.
I know we were just talking about TV shows. I mean, we can do this forever. If you guys like a quick one, pick just one, but from a movie standpoint, as a kid, what was something that stood out?
So movie?
Yeah, a movie. Yeah, because we were talking about TV shows and all that stuff. But a movie as a kid that stood out for me, it's the Ninja Turtle series. Those 3 movies, VHS. I used to have it. That was my childhood. If I had to define my childhood by a movie, it was a Ninja Turtles, the trilogy for sure.
Mine would be. So my earliest memory is watching The Lion King. I was like 2.5 or 3, just watching the VHS tape, Lion King all the way through, rewind it, and then watching it all the way through again.
Yeah.
But then other than that, I would say
Toy Story?
Nah, not Toy Story.
It was Toy Story for me.
I love Toy Story though.
I do love it.
My favorite one of all the Pixar Disney.
Other than Lion King, it would be the Three Ninjas.
Ooh,
Great
3 Ninjas
choice.
Kick Back.
Great choice.
Oh, was one of them Tom Tom?
Yeah, Tum Tum.
Tom Tom, there you go.
Tum Tum Rock and
Boing Boy.
Hakuna Matata. Ooh.
Is that the one with the Game Gear?
3 Ninjas?
3 Ninjas? That's the Game Gear, right? He was like playing a video game, and it's actually real life.
Oh
my God.
I don't know if one of the movies, if one of the 3 Ninjas was that one, but I remember they got.
Oh, there are multiple ones, right?
There's multiple Three Ninjas, but I remember going to my cousin's house because she had the VHS tape of the Three Ninjas, and I was like, "Hey, can we go to Karen's house, please?" And then I wouldn't just ignore her and just go straight to the TV that had the VHS player, and watch Three Ninjas.
Man, that's a good show. Aside from the Lion King, obviously I love that, and the Power Rangers. We already talked about that, but for me it was something I'm trying to draw to like what elicited a reaction out of me. So Back to the Future for sure.
Yes.
I owned not one VHS grouping of the whole trilogy. I had 2 copies of the trilogy.
What was your favorite one?
Why? I don't know why. The first one.
Yeah, mine
For
too.
sure.
Mine
For
too.
sure the first one.
OG.
Yeah.
I think I was too young because I don't remember Back to the Future all that well.
Oh, it's cool. It's in the title. That's all you need to know, fam. It's the first one's dope. The third one doesn't matter if you watch it or not.
Yeah, don't even bother with that.
But I just want to, as we're wrapping up, tell a quick story about Ninja Turtles.
There you go.
So the second one is titled Ninja Turtles: Secrets of the Ooze, and this is where
Sounds so hot.
Splinter feeds ooze to two animals, and it becomes these monsters. And they encounter this secret base where the Foot and Splinter are housing these animals. So the Ninja Turtles hear it, go and crash this sort of party. And in the scene, it's Vanilla Ice holding a concert at this club, and they end up dancing, okay? And there's this whole jingle about it where it's like ninja, ninja, rap. And it's just like the Ninja Turtles and these animals, they get drugged, and there's these vapors, and like they all get into this dance, right? So
what are we talking about?
So five or six.
Oh, you're gonna tell the Brandon House story?
5 or 6 years ago, I'm at Brandon's house. It's me, Jared, Kevin, Luke, Brandon, and Tyler. Brandon is not at the house. I think either he was sleeping or he left. So Tyler was there. She was not drinking. The rest of us were, and we played a drinking game. So me, Jared, and Kevin, we played a drinking game. The drinking game was anytime you see Pizza, anytime you see April, anytime you see Splinter, or there's these like 5 rules. You just have to take a swig of your beer, right? So we're swigging beer, watching
every minute,
watching Ninja Turtles. So Tyler leaves to go pick up pizza because we thought how appropriate would it be to eat pizza while watching Ninja Turtles. Tyler leaves. She's gone for a while. We're watching, and the scene comes where it's Vanilla Ice and they're dancing. We're all pretty drunk at this point. Lo and behold, I didn't realize our friend Kevin was hammered. So Jared is on the couch. He's just sitting and dancing, right? Just in place, enjoying himself. And I'm just kind of two-stepping. And we turn, and Kevin's practicing karate kicks.
What?
And so when Tyler left, we were all just sitting, drinking beer and watching a movie. Here she comes, 2 pizzas. And now here's Kevin spinning so much, doing karate kicks, that he falls on the floor, and he gets back up and just keeps doing karate kicks like nothing happened. And so Tyler's just like, what the fuck just happened?
What happened?
I was gone not that long. And we were all like, we saw him do it, and we just kind of let him continue. We didn't stop him. And so she was just like, oh man, I missed out on all the fun. But that was a moment that I always remember because I didn't realize that a drinking game would lead to somebody doing karate kicks in the air. And the funny thing was, like, the next day we were like, dude, do you remember doing karate kicks? He's like, oh yeah, it was voluntary. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, turtles in a half shell. Duh. Yeah, I know. Turtle power, bro.
I was like, okay, more power to you. So that will always tie into Ninja Turtles for sure.
I love that. All right, cool. On that bombshell.
Turtle shell.
Oh, hey, on that turtle bombshell.
Got it. Let's wrap things up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Where can they find us, guys?
Find me at kangsankim.com, at Naskanok on social media.
You can find me at It's A Tulane on Instagram.
And you know where to find me at _German on the tweets and on the Insta G's. We got a good one coming for you guys on this next episode. So stay tuned. For those of you who are listening, thank you so much for your continued support. For the new listeners, thank you as well. Not saying that we have any or not, but maybe if we do, that's fantastic. Thanks for riding with us. Continue to ride with us, and
please rate, comment, hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you think.
Only if it's good, though.
Hey, you know what? Let's just let them be honest. Be honest.
Okay, but leave it 5 stars. Leave 5 stars and give us some shitty critiques. Okay. All right, we appreciate you guys, and then until next time. Bye bye.
Later.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and check us out on Instagram and Twitter.